Do you know something that'll make a smart woman really frustrated? It's working so hard all day to eat the way that you want to, only to feel like you blow it at the end of the day and you ruin everything. Overeating at night or at the end of the day is a huge pitfall for so many smart women. Let's talk about why that is and the one thing you want to do if you're stuck in that cycle and you want to get out. I'm Dr. Melissa McCreery, and if you're new here, I'm a clinical psychologist and I specialize in helping busy women break free from the 3 O's: overwhelm, overload, and overeating. It's not just you that falls into the trap of overeating at the end of the day or right before you go to bed, and there are a number of reasons why. The first is that this is a time when you're probably really low on energy and you're looking for something easy. What's easier than getting something to eat, particularly if this is a habit you've already developed? The second reason that overeating at night can be so common is that a lot of people, especially busy women, tend to slide into the end of the day low on fuel. Maybe you've been restricting what you've been eating all day. Not a good idea, and I'll cover that in other videos. Maybe you got too busy and you forgot to eat lunch, or you didn't take time to eat lunch. For whatever reason, that end of the day can be a low blood sugar kind of time. And that's a recipe for grabbing the easy choice or not making a choice and reacting on autopilot. And we all know how one decision can lead to a cascade of overeating that can last for the rest of the day. The third reason that overeating at night is so common has to do with self-care, not getting enough of it. If you're busy or if you're somebody who tends to put everybody else first, it's really easy to show up at the end of your day or right before bed feeling like you haven't taken care of you. Again, food is easy and can be so comfortable, and if you're only looking at the very short term, it can feel like it's a really lovely thing to do for yourself, to get that forbidden food or to treat yourself, which, speaking of, is another reason that overeating at night is so common. It's a reward. And how many times have you worked really hard all day long, ended up sitting in your chair at the end of the day before bed or maybe before dinner, feeling like there was nothing in this day for me and I deserve something special? Again, food is easy, and it can be a very easy habit to fall into, to reach for something to eat. If you're not taking care of yourself, if you're not getting fuel for your spirit earlier in the day, this is a trap that you are likely to fall into over and over and over again. So it's really important to pay attention to, and that's going to be a habit that you're going to want to work on. Why else is overeating at the end of the day such a problem? Well, it's because it's the end of the day and it might feel like it's your last chance. It's your last chance to grab something for you or to take care of that need or that feeling. And again, if you're already low energy, you are primed to pick one of the easiest responses or behaviors that you can think of. And that very well may be walking into the kitchen and getting yourself something to eat. All of this is made supremely harder by the final reason that overeating at night is such a problem. And that's that willpower is something that comes in limited reserves and limited supplies. And by the end of the day, it's all used up. So if you are showing up at the end of the day, maybe not getting the self-care that you need, maybe not nurturing yourself, feeling exhausted and depleted, and maybe feeling like this is your last chance to do something good for yourself, you are not likely to have the willpower or the self-control to make those hard decisions that might have been easier to make in the morning or before lunch. So that's why overeating at night is such a problem, but it doesn't mean that it is a cycle that's impossible to break. In fact, it's something I work with clients to transform all the time. The first thing that you want to remember is you don't want to try to break the cycle by relying on willpower or doing a hard thing. This is a time of day where that is not likely to work for you. If you want more information about how to tackle overeating and how to make changes without relying on limitless energy and discipline and having to feel like you're hungry and going without all the time, then I would suggest you check out my free masterclass. This is something I go into in depth. I'll drop the link in the comments so that you can do that. There are 2 things that you can do right now to start breaking any cycle that you have with overeating at the end of the day or at night. The first is to get curious. Get very curious about what triggers you have that may be priming you to walk into the kitchen to get something to eat at that time of day. There's a lot of frustration that happens with this kind of eating, and you may have been wasting energy beating yourself up and telling yourself you're not strong enough. I hope you see now that that is not helping you. This is a time of day where being strong and having a lot of discipline is not something to count on. So take a look at what's going on. What could be some of the triggers that are fueling you to want to overeat at night? The second thing that you need to do if you want to break this cycle is to be realistic. The end of the day is not the time for you to expect yourself to make hard decisions. Remember, your energy and your willpower are probably pretty much depleted. So it's important to think about what the things are that tend to trigger overeating for you at the end of the day, and then to think about what you could do earlier in the day to try to interrupt that pattern. So if you're showing up at the end of the day low on fuel and starving and kind of cranky because you need something to eat, what can you do a few hours before that shows up so that your energy level is more even? If you're showing up at the end of the day and there hasn't been anything in it for you, if you don't have rituals earlier in your day that are about meeting your own needs or taking care of yourself or your feelings, it's important to start to think about what small things you could start to add in earlier when you have more energy, when you have more zest, and when you have more bandwidth for actually doing these things, so that you're not feeling so depleted when you get to the end of the day. The final tip I have for you is to, again, be realistic. Tackling overeating at the end of the day isn't going to work if all you do is rely on willpower. What you want is to create a new set of habits that take care of you, that nurture you, that help you end your day in a way that feels as good or as helpful as the overeating ever did. You want to take a look at my video, What to Do Instead of Eating, and then in the next video I'm going to cover strategies specifically for creating new rituals and habits at the end of your day.